Welcome everyone to the Women Automotive Network's August virtual event, our mentorship meetup. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gracia. I was literally just about to say this is our mentorship meetup, and we are asking or encouraging everyone to share their video, their microphone. We can make this as interactive as possible. Hi. So before we kick off, Amisha, I know you're there in the background. If you want to get involved, this is your chance. This event, if you've been a mentor, a mentee, or both, or if you're here to learn more, it's all about getting back together, learning from each other, sharing your experiences, and giving us your feedback. I'm Stephanie. I'm the community director here at the Women Automotive Network, and I'm joined by the amazing Mona, who is the brainchild behind the program. Mona, tell us all.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm so happy to be part of today's meetup. And of course, if you've been part of the Women Automotive Mentorship Program as either a mentee or a mentor, you're very welcome. Welcome back. We love you and we are very happy to have you here. Also, if you are interested in mentoring, then you are definitely welcome to be here with us and hope you find this very enlightening. So we created this event because we wanted our mentors to get together, share their experiences, and also provide us with feedback. The format is going to be very simple. We're going to start with brief introductions where every mentor and every mentee will tell us why they are here, and of course sharing stories from the program, followed by a bit of a deep dive into what it's like to be a mentor and what are some of the repetitive and biggest issues you hear from most of your mentees and end with a feedback session. So before we get to that, we really want to see your beautiful faces and we welcome you to turn on your camera, your microphone. And for those who are not very comfortable with that, that's okay. You can still follow without mic, without camera, and you're very welcome to engage with us. We will have polls throughout, and you can also post your thoughts in the chat whenever you feel like it. The floor is yours, Stephanie.
Amazing. It's so good to see so many of you. So, Tati, you're joining from Detroit, and Amisha, I think. Helena, you're in Stuttgart. Chris, goodness knows where are you? Munich? Marion, Dubai? John, hiya, everyone. Welcome. So we're going to kick this off. What's brought you here today with our first poll? Have you been a mentor, a mentee? And we wondered if everyone could put one word in the chat describing your experience of the WAN Mentorship Program. And of course, Mona and I know you all, but if someone wants to kick off, we would love to know what your experiences are of the Women Automotive Network mentorship program and how it shaped your career. Does anyone have a specific example that they can give with us during the program?
Well, if I may start.
Marion, go on. I'm gonna hone on you. You've done videos with us. You've been mentor with us for 8 years. Tell us about your experience. Give us a story. How's it shaped your career?
Oh, well, it shaped my career because I was learning big time. Among having been in the automotive industries for 3 decades, I thought I know it all, and I was far from it. And thanks to my beautiful mentees, the amount of experience that I got from them is beyond belief and so rewarding and inspiring. And it keeps me young, it keeps me on my toes, it keeps me wanting to learn new things and get out of my little box to be open to whatever is happening out there in the world. So because we all know that once we are in a profession for quite a while, we do things our way. And my mentees, they always challenge me also to think differently. And so I love it. And I love their feedback. And I love to see them progress and see them achieve things that they thought are not possible. And that's how I see it and why I love it so much.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Does anyone else want to share a story about the program? Ask each other anything?
So for me, it was a little bit challenging for my first mentoring session, in the sense that, yeah, I was a little bit worried what I have to bring to my mentees, who were already also experienced professionals, but the exchange was very interesting. It was really a bilateral learning and really challenging myself to help my mentees and also to learn a lot from them. So it was very rewarding. Also, I saw the word rewarding and humbling and definitely a very growth experience for myself. I think there was someone else who started to talk at the same time, I think, like me. So I hand over further.
And I don't know where to find a raise my hand thing here, so I'm sorry if I cut anybody.
That's fine. We'll try to work it out with microphones going on and off, and Mona and I will try to catch people's eye if someone's got something to say. We've got lots of polls to kind of keep the conversation throwing, but if there's anything you would like to share as a mentor, or any question you'd like to ask, the floor is yours. Perfect. Andy, you found the hand button. Floor's yours.
Found the mute button. So hello, folks. I one of the few men on this call. I feel like I ought to explain myself. So I have a daughter who's 30, and she's chosen a career in acting, and I can help her not one bit, aside from generic things. It doesn't stop me trying, much to her frustration. But I thought it would be, after 30 years in automotive myself, I could help some young women who, that's probably similar to my daughter, but have chosen an automotive route. So that was one reason. I interviewed a couple of hundred automotive people over the last 5 or 6 years about their career journey. And so I've gathered lots of information, and it's just sitting there. And I wanted to be able to share that with people. And so there's a few strong reasons. Plus, like some of you have mentioned, I love young people, and I'm inspired by their outlook and their energy and their curiosity. And it's always a privilege to check in with some young people and hear what they're doing. It makes me feel still valuable and relevant. So that's what I've been getting out of it.
Thank you. Go on, Tati.
For me, and I use the word humbling, and the reason why I've chosen that, it's because I had 3 mentees so far, one from Canada, the other one in Texas, that happens to be a Japanese woman, and I am now with somebody in Brazil, which is very nice because I can do this in Portuguese instead. And you find that people, they have the same concerns, they desire the same things, not in the sense of tactical, but they are wishes as human beings. And it's quite amazing to see that people are people everywhere. Every time that I sit with a new mentee, it's just amazing.
Chris, and then John.
Yeah, similar bit to Tati, what she said is like my mentees are all over the place as well. I think from Europe to the US, but the far end of the US from a European perspective, time zone wise. And I would also, even I haven't said it or written it, I would say rewarding is also a very good word, because even though, you know, some connections are like 4 or 5 years old, you still follow each other on LinkedIn, and you see how your mentees now are getting awards or kind of making it big in their companies. Things that you might have talked about in the mentoring have now materialized. So it's great to see that growth for them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's actually one of our polls, so maybe we can put it live now. How many of you are still in touch with your mentee? Because I think Mona does this incredible job of not just setting up, you know, a normal mentorship program. She really does connect the right people. And I've heard so many stories of people sharing Airbnbs together. Or Chris, I know you met your first mentee in Italy, I think, recently. So I think there's a poll live, if people can kind of answer how much they've stayed in touch with their mentor. And then, John, you had your hand raised before. Did you want to share something?
You're on mute, John. We can't hear you. Yes. I think, John, your microphone is off. You need to turn it off.
Sorry about that. I'm not used to this format. It's incredibly inspiring, energizing, rewarding to be part of this group. And, you know, I've mentored a lot of women in Europe and have a couple around Mexico right now. But I think for me, just to see the progress from the starting point of kind of the session to the end, in the last one that I had, the last mentee, you know, she really made incredible progress on defining her personal value proposition. She made incredible progress on her just time management. She called it her hamster wheel and how to get off the hamster wheel. So we worked really hard on helping her define some boundaries and parameters. And then lastly, I'm also an executive coach and built a lot of content around career journeys. And so I share with all my mentees this model that I have. It's basically plan, work, capture, extract on how to manage your career. And she did a great job applying that tool to her life and to her career journey. So yeah, it's been great. And I have two amazing women right now that I've already had a couple sessions with, and I couldn't be happier. This session is going phenomenally well.
I mean, John, every single mentee of yours goes crazy after we closed the mentorship program. Everyone, not just John, like screaming how much it's helped them and how much your leadership skills and advice had, transformed their lives, which is truly amazing. I'm really thankful to you and to everyone, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I do it. Makes me happy. Thank you.
I think Amisha wanted to say something before Christian and Camila. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. No, I just wanted to just add on that, I think that one of the things that's been really, really amazing learning experience for me is just helping people to find their own strengths and, kind of navigating situations. That's been one of the core themes of a lot of the mentoring sessions I have done. And it's been very amazing. I learned from that too. And then I also can apply some of my own experiences towards that as well. So it's been rewarding in that way as well. On top of some of the things that I was like nodding my head with, a lot of the things others were saying about learning and growing and, just staying young, all of that, I think that also applies. So I just wanted to just add that other point that it's been kind of fun doing self-discovery and introspection type of exercises with a lot of these wonderful ladies.
Thank you.
Camilla, Marion, feel free to kind of jump in.
Sorry,
so from my
I was
side,
just suffocating.
Go ahead, Marion.
Sorry, no, I was, you mentioned before with Mona matching the mentees and the mentors, still dying. What's the secret sauce? How do you do that? Because whatever mentee I had so far, it was like family. It was like, oh my God, I've knew you my whole life. And we instantly clicked. How do you do that?
It's just with experience. I also, when I was working with the Women Automotive Network. I didn't know anything about the industry. I was a business development executive. I was mainly focusing on sales and other parts of the network, of course. But then we came up with this idea of creating a mentorship program. And, with time, I started to enjoy it because, you become part of the whole journey. It starts with the application. You make mistakes. Stephanie, of course, Ers and everyone in the team will go through and let me know, okay, those are competitive companies. You should not go together. This senior than this person. You should match them with someone who has something to give to them. And also, of course, taking into, account the differences in times, people's schedules. And because I work with you, I know that you are very, busy and you also have other commitments. So we try to balance, the connection between time, language, if it's possible, professional background, and also try to match two people who are going to learn something from each other, not just one person giving and another taking. So this has come with now we're down to the 10th term. So of course, that's how we become more experienced. And because I know the mentors more, the mentees may not return, but the mentors have been working with them for years. So yes, that's how I know the mentors. They're like my friends. I know exactly what they're looking for. And I even sometimes go into if I can meet your match criteria, let me know what you're looking for. Who do you want? Which industry? Which country? Which, seniority level, like I do with John, with a lot of other mentors too. And yeah, that's how it works. And that's how you guys have amazing matches. That's how.
I must second Marion, because I'm in contact with my very first woman automotive mentee. And this is, I think, now something like 2.5 years. So we are in a regular touch still. And yeah, it is very nice to stay in contact for this longer period of time, to check in, to check on the progress. Also, like Christian told previously, to see the progress and exchange further and further learning from each other. So you have definitely, Mona, a magic hand. And I am looking forward to the next opportunity to connect with something new.
Of course. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. Christian?
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. Christian has something to say, I guess. Go ahead.
No, my hand was not put down.
I just wanted to touch on something. Two things really. The first is there a general theme that you've noticed that your mentees say that keeps coming up over and over again? And following on from that, obviously every year within automotive there seems to be the next big change, since we've been around since 2019. So I'm just wondering, have people seen the mentee themes changing over the last 6 years or so?
Kind of, I think I had 9 or 10 mentees over the past years. I would say at least a third to half of them wanted to talk about career development. So what are the steps that get them to the next level? For some, it was kind of being beginners in a leadership role, kind of how to manage that instead of being a peer, to be now the team lead and have to survive that. And some, I would call it probably cultural stuff, because they were foreigners in the local environment or having to do with Germans. And then wanted to have my take on how should I read that situation? Did he meant it how I read it, or is there a second meaning to it? Can you explain it to me? And also about mergers and acquisitions, how to cope with when your company suddenly changes.
Thank you. Tati?
Curious enough, like I only had 3 since I joined the program, and each one of them had different goals. So the first one wanted to get stronger as a leader with the current team. The second one was looking to get promoted. And by the way, she was during the program, which I'm very proud of her. And then the third one that I am starting like I started like last week or 2 weeks ago. She wants to discover her path because she's young and she's like, I have so much in front of me. Where could I go? So I cannot even vote because I had 3 different mentees so far.
Amisha?
So for me, when I first started doing a lot of the mentoring, a lot of it was they're getting into a new role or ready for that new role. So they knew it was coming or they were just in that role. I'm getting a lot more. I do have a very young one now, just out of college as well. I do have one person, and a lot her as well as the other one. And then I also do coach outside of WAN as well. A lot of it has been around negotiation and getting some of those skill sets honed in. So that actually has been like thematically what where my shift I've seen a shift is like certain skill sets to be a leader as opposed to getting ready for that new role. But negotiation was a big one.
I think Marianne wanted to say something. Yes?
Yes, what I've noticed like across all my mentees was to be heard, still our topic, because as we all know, our counterparts, and sorry, gentlemen, are still male, and they want to be that how they can express their voice more clearly and also, muscle up a little bit. And the second thing was a lot about networking, how to network to advance in their career. And I thought that was a very interesting topic because they are already, choosing the right network. But that's a lot of conversations that's going on. So how to best network, where to connect with whom and how, and and also how to be heard. And I thought that was quite interesting.
Thank you. Sophie, so lovely to have you here. Go ahead.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's brightening up my morning in a very stormy Tennessee today, so it's nice to see you all. I would say a common theme for me with some of the more junior mentees I've had has been how they're perceived within an organization and by their peers, by their boss, by people around them, and exploring that in a safe space. So that's definitely been a common theme with 2 or 3 of the ladies that I've mentored is wanting to kind of bounce some ideas off me around how they feel that perception is currently and how it could develop and grow in the way they want it to. And almost having a place with me where they can talk to me about that completely safe, outside of having to maybe discuss that with their boss or their peers so that they can position themselves in a better way in the organization, whether that's for career development or just building their own gravitas and confidence in the role that they've just stepped into, or looking at what that next step could be and empowering themselves. I think perception was a big theme for me with the ladies that I've spoken with.
Super. I think, Helena, I was going to ask you also to answer the question, but I'm so glad to see you raise your hand. Go ahead. We can't hear you. Sorry. Can anyone hear Helena?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was double muted. Anyway, the first lady, one of the first because I've done it like six seasons now, or six sessions. One of the first ones was a lady that was new to the automotive industry. She was in material science, and before she was doing other industries and now came into automotive, and in which phases she could go, would be a good idea to come in and be in the development phase for new materials that car manufacturers use and so on. So that was right up my alley. And the last few especially have been just promoted into leadership roles, and they're starting to get direct reports. and then are asking for, how do I deal with this? And we've not necessarily been very structured. It's more like, okay, do you have any issues today, or what do you want to talk about? And we've talked about things like performance reviews, how to give feedback, when to give feedback. Do you do it immediately, or do you wait? And also delegation, because they were like a one-man show tour sort of thing, and all of a sudden they've got people working for them, and how do you delegate and stuff like that. So, and it's been very rewarding to see see how they handle stuff.
Thank you for sharing. Leah, you've got your hand raised as well.
Yes, thank you. So I'm actually a mentee. I haven't done any mentoring, and I'm at my first round. So we joined last year, and I joined the mentoring program, and it was really great. So, and I'm really glad to hear the general topics, because since it was my first time I had a mentor, I went in and I was actually wondering, okay, so you can look online what the mentor is supposed to do or what it should give you, but you actually have no idea how the whole thing goes. And I had a really great mentor, and she was giving me guidance through the whole thing. So it was really great, because she from the beginning she let me talk, but she could relate to many things and gave me then a direction, and we went through every session, like following up on the last one. So it was really good. So it's really great to hear now that the general topics, they were similar to mine. So I'm in a similar position than many other mentees, I believe. But yeah, it's just want to say it's really great to hear that my mentor actually gave me the right guidance through the program, and I followed this similar path most mentees did. So yeah, thank you. If she's here, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, Camilla?
Yeah, so besides some leadership topics, which I could discuss with some younger mentees I had, there was also one theme which we've explored with one of my mentees more in depth, and this was communication. How to communicate on results of the team, how to champion on team, but not only on team, but self as well. And how to not only lead by giving a direction, but the power also by leading by asking questions. So this is something which I was exploring myself sometime before, and I could share my experience with my mentee, and it proved that it was helpful, a good direction, let's say, to explore. And as a leader, so we not only propose solutions or expose data, but also asking right questions and challenging, let's say, also the people in the discussions.
Amazing. Thank you.
Sorry.
I was just going to ask, before we kind of go into the feedback of the actual program, obviously we've got quite a few amazing mentors with us now. And I just wondered if there's anything that you guys are struggling with, or whether it be from the program or whether it be your own careers, that maybe you wanted to ask others who have mentored.
Yes, Marianne?
What comes up more and more in my space, and because maybe I'm based in Dubai, is the cultural aspect. And Christiane said something earlier with her mentees, how to navigate with the Germans. Hello, fellow German here. But I get this more and more because especially here we have like a wild mixture of different cultures with different expectations, different look at hierarchies, different look at how to say things or not say things, because you need to save face and stuff like this. And I think this will be more and more in Europe as well. And that's a topic that continuously comes up, especially the last few months, interestingly. And I think that's a very, very good topic to look at as well, how to speak with different cultures, because I would speak differently to a German and a Brit than I would do to my fellow Indians, for instance.
Go on, Sophie. You've moved, haven't you? Goodness knows how many locations.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So firstly, I've got a great book to recommend if you've not already read it, which is The Culture Map by Erin Mayer. It is like my Bible. I still take it everywhere with me, and it has all kinds of notes written in it. And I just love referring to it when I'm going on a trip to a drastically different cultural space. So yeah, I came from the UK into a role in Switzerland with many Gerbans, actually, which was a pleasure. Yeah, people from all over Europe, from the Netherlands to Italy to France to Germany, we were all thrown into one melting pot and had to build a European head office from scratch in Switzerland. So that was a great cultural experience for me, and where I first read that culture map, because really did need to have some additional context on how to manage myself in all of those different scenarios. And then last year I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm here on a couple of years assignment with the company, and again gone from the melting pot of European culture into all of that headspace of the European influence with Indian team members as well that I manage, and also now a heavy Canadian and North American influence. So yes, it's I absolutely agree with you, Marion. That cultural competency piece is so relevant, so important, and getting it right as a leader of people from all over the world is so important, because it really does enable a deeper connection with your teams if you're taking culture and their background, the way they think into consideration on more than just the surface level of soft skills and leadership behavior. So I think combining the two, having that real deep focus on cultural competency as a global leader is so important, alongside developing the soft skills of teams and mentees. And one other point I wanted to raise to this group as a mentor in that senior space is we are currently in my talent development function looking at AI adoption and learning pathways for the whole organization. And a huge piece of that for me as a people leader is not losing sight of our humanity and what keeps us human and what guides us as human, as with our critical thinking and our empathy, alongside the adoption of AI into a global organization. So I would say that's definitely a theme for me. As somebody who's mentored others, that I would definitely like to get more support on and be able to bounce some ideas off in senior spaces, because it's a huge task ahead. AI, as we know, changes daily, probably by the hour. But what does not change is the fact that we as human beings need to navigate it. And we never, in my view, should lose sight of what makes us human and what is so important around the AI journey in terms of the human adoption and maintenance of that. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that one out there as well.
Thank you. I'll put the book recommendation in for everyone.
I think either Leah or Christian want to go first.
I would have one more thing to add, that I had also used a mentor from the Women Automotive Network a couple of years ago, is speaking, so public speaking, but also just speaking up. I think that's something inside, but also outside the network, just in the company or people in my network, I'm getting more and more that they want some hints, tips on how to do that. And I did recently, like 2 months ago, I was in Hong Kong and did a mini workshop with the women's network of our company there on that. And I'm still getting feedback from, I think 25 people sitting there in the launch. Still getting, hey, I implemented that little thing, but it changed so much. So I think speaking confidently, not always on the big stage, but just in the room, and not hiding in the second row, but kind of getting the seat at the table. That's very important.
I think maybe it's worth noting now that September's virtual event is all about being seen, heard, and paid what you deserve. So this is, I think, the theme that everyone has mentioned. We'll obviously promote the next virtual event. But if that's a general theme your mentees are saying, or if you want to join, we've got a really good host doing a similar kind of workshop for mentors and mentees in September. Anything else that you guys would like to ask each other as our amazing mentors?
I have a question, and this one is for Andy and also for John. So I wanted to ask you both, what's something you understand about the experience of women in the automotive industry that you did not understand before becoming a mentor? Who wants to go first? John?
I think I've just got a greater appreciation for the daily challenges that women face in still working in a pretty male-dominated industry, and depending on the company, there can be, I work for BlackBerry Kunix, which is the software company now, and in our core business, it is way too heavily dominated by men, and I see the challenges that the women have to get their voices heard and to deal with too many alpha males. So I would say for me, it's just a greater appreciation and a greater sensitivity to the challenges that many women face in the male-dominated companies.
Thank you. Andy, if you may.
Yeah, I think it's a privilege to sit with the mentees. I've had 3 mentees so far, so not as many as some of you, and it's always a privilege. And I say to them fairly early on that I'm grateful that they choose me, given there's all these wonderful women mentors available. And I say, look, obviously, I have no experience of being a woman in an organisation or anywhere. However, what I was able to do, if we got onto topics that I felt were outside of my experience, I could introduce them to senior women in the industry to have separate conversations. So I did that. My experience, yeah, it's just every time you hear a story, it reminds me of how, of the privilege I have and how it's a different, even when you're saying about women being heard and sitting in the front row and speaking up, I know that it's just so much harder, because even if you do it, you can't control how that's perceived by some of the men in the room and maybe some of the women in the room as well. So you can still do it, but you can't take away the bias and the prejudice and everything else. So I had one story. I've also learned from listening. I interviewed Stephanie and many other, about 50 women for my podcast. And there's one story that my friend Nina Englert, I don't think she's any relation to Marion, but Nina Englert was she was the managing director of BMW New Zealand when I was there. And she told a story about when she moved to the market, she invited the dealers for dinner, the BMW dealers, and she got them to bring their wives as well, because she knew she had to meet all of the wives so that they would understand she was not a threat to them. And this was just something I had never conceived of as a man coming into the region. I would never think of anything like that. I don't have to. So there's all sorts of little eye openers that we learn from listening to women in the roles at whatever level. So it's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to put the next poll live, which is, which of these would make the biggest difference to your mentorship experience? Is it more structure and guidance? Is it better matching? Is it more ways to connect with others in the program, or anything else? Feel free to answer anonymously, but whilst we've got you all here, is there anything that you want to say to me and Mona about the program that you would like to see us kind of develop a little bit more? Chris, is your hand still raised from before, or have you got something to say?
As my hand was still raised from the question before, let me take that opportunity while the others think. I would say I just answered. I think kind of the connections with others in the program that would be for me the most meaningful. I think structure matching, I'm fine. So but finding out who else is a mentor or who are some mentees, just kind of to see who else is in the network besides, the big events, the summits and so on.
You're on mute, Stephanie.
Thanks, Mona. I was about to say we have started to launch local WhatsApp communities. So we've got regional city ones, we've got speaker ones, and we've just set up a mentorship WhatsApp. So this is for all of you guys just to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, share your experiences, and obviously ask me and Mona questions. So yes, thanks, Chris. And if there's any other ideas of how you can stay connected, then please share it because you're based in the industry, you know everything. Helena, you've got an idea or some feedback for us? Thank you so much. Nope. On mute again, Helena.
Oh, sorry. There. Now, can you hear me now? Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. I came into this without any experience of mentoring, and although I've done it several seasons now, or sessions, whatever you call it, perhaps some training for the people that are mentors, or a refresher maybe of how we can, bring a bit more structure into it, and things like that. There was a session some time ago. I can't remember, it was 23 or 24, but some time ago, and I found it extremely useful. And I still use these notes when I have a new mentee coming up, that I go through those and go like, okay, let's try and be a bit more structured in this, and try and be, how to be better help for my mentees.
Okay. So would more of these local meetups kind of, maybe every 6 months before the program kicks off and at the end of the program, maybe with mentors and mentees together, would that be helpful?
Potentially, or maybe just a session with mentors that they can share some of their experience, especially those who have done it a lot more, even outside of the network, or perhaps I don't know if anybody had formal training in this. Maybe they can share some lessons learned or improvements. Sometimes I'm trying to be as helpful as I can, and so far I'm connecting well with the mentees. So. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, I hope I'm doing this right.
Thank you.
If I may add also, we also welcome all the mentees because they are also professionals in the industry and they have skill and knowledge that if they also want to be a mentor, they're welcome. Even if they don't have experience, they just have to be confident about certain fields and just help someone who really needs their experience. And in return, we can also match them with someone who has something to give them in, exchange. So, for example, I see Robin here, Leah also. I gave Leah, a proposal. If you want, you can join also as a mentor. And if you need to learn from other experienced mentors in the industry, even for mentors, you are more than welcome to contact me and say, Mona, I need help finding contact who's going to support me with, I don't know, a career goal or a project or anything. And I can always look in and ask our mentors and connect you. So we want it to be more than just a term that starts and ends. We want it to be a connection that will stay throughout the years. So you're welcome to come and ask at any time on LinkedIn or via email, and more than happy to arrange the connections.
Thank you very much. So I end all of my kind of questions. I thank everyone for joining. Tati, you've started, and that was going to kind of be my last thing to say to everyone, to pledge. Everyone put your LinkedIn in the chat. Let's connect with each other. let's share each other's experiences. Let's kind of stay active on that WhatsApp group with new books, new recommendations, maybe like Helena, you've said, some formal mentorship training, anything like that. We're all in this together, and we'd love to try just keep working and improving things together. Amisha, I can send you the direct link to the WhatsApp. It's slightly above. Any last closing words from anyone that they would like to share, whether it be a story, an experience, a lesson learned, a question, a feedback? Sophie?
Just one point from me that's worked really well for us with our internal mentoring program in LKQ is pairing up mentoring with being active and getting away from your desk. And whether that is that you are fortunate enough to have a mentee or a mentor in the same building as you, so you can go out for a walk on a break, or whether that is agreeing that you'll take the call off screen, offline, so that the two of you can take that hour to walk and talk together. It's not always the best way to do it, but I think sometimes it's just really nice to use it as a pairing with just getting outside, getting some fresh air, and freeing your mind from the desk and the laptop. So that's worked really well for us. Not in all cases, but it's just a suggestion.
Thanks. Yeah, I think with our global program, it's not usual that people are even in the same city, but I totally agree. I remember when you came back from COVID and we said, there's nothing like face-to-face interaction, and it's still true, isn't it? Those local meetups that we've been doing in Frankfurt and Stuttgart, Helen, you're running the Stuttgart one. It's that face-to-face, that interaction. It's just nothing's going to replace it, is it?
Absolutely.
Andy?
I was just going to say, I love that idea, Sophie. And I was thinking, but I'm not in the same place as my mentee, but I could still go for a walk, and they could go for a walk, and we could just listen to each other. We could even have, if you've got reasonable reception, you could see each other, but it would still give that dynamic of I'm out, I'm getting some exercise, I'm thinking. So I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I did with one of mine, and we both walked, talked for a little bit, and then sat on a bench, FaceTimed, so that we were doing like a mentoring session, but just having a really nice conversation, although it wasn't a real human in terms of the physical presence. They were there on FaceTime, and we showed our views and talked about where we were. Yeah, it was just nicer than just constantly being kind of sat at the desk and talking to your mentee in that team space that you very much associate with work and more formal meetings.
I'm going to try that with not just mentoring calls, but just other calls in my calendar. See if I can find people who agree. Should we do this on a walk, wherever we are?
Andy, you're standing up now as well, aren't you? You've got a standing desk. I can tell. You're one of those. I knew it would sit with you. I've got mine over there. Don't worry. I'm all for it, but I knew that would sit with you.
Yeah, and mine's the only standing desk in this Nashville HR office as well. It's always me just at the back in my office, stood up.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'm going to ask you if you could describe the mentorship program in one sentence. What would it be? If you could pop out your feedback in the chat, that would be so helpful, so heartwarming. From my side, this is the first time we've seen so many faces at once and heard feedback like this. So I definitely think we should run this, Mona, kind of before a kickoff or at the end of a program. Definitely. So yeah, from my side, thank you so much. Mona, I'll let you close the session.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session, for sharing your ideas. And I'm so happy to finally meet all of you, because we can get to see all the mentors in chat. Some, we've worked with each other for so many years. We never had a chance to have a chat, and see each other face to face virtually. You all have amazing stories. I received the feedback from both mentees and mentors. I cannot speak enough about it. So grateful to have you all here. And I think Camila wants to add something. So I'll give her the floor, and I wish you all a good day.
I didn't want to interrupt this closing, but there was one quote which I just remembered, which I found very inspiring, and this is: "Everybody you meet knows something you don't."
Exactly.
That's good.
I love it.
So just be curious and connect.
I think Marianne has the last word.
I was just wondering, because you guys were all talking about getting like personal contact. I was just wondering, do you guys know, am I the only one in this part of the world? I believe so, yes, right?
In Dubai, Mona, you're going to have to go. So I know Inas is based in Dubai.
We had another mentor, Catherine Isaac from Bridgestone.
Yes.
But I can connect you with her afterwards. Yeah, but not many, unfortunately.
No. Okay. I'm holding up the flag. I'm holding up the flag.
Bridgestone Catherine would be a great person to connect you with.
Yeah, would be
Definitely.
awesome.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you so much. I've already mentioned the next virtual event in September is relevant for all of you. Be seen, be heard, get paid what you deserve. Then obviously, if you haven't heard it, we've got the European Summit in Stuttgart or online, 6th of October. And Mona would love to hear from you about the mentorship program. She'll be checking in and doing the next launches in January. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the last of the summer, and we see you all very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Take
It was
care.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.